Alaina, good to see you. Thank you for joining Everything Nash today.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
How are you, first of all? Just how are you?
I'm good. I am raising a puppy. She just got spayed, so I've been having to carry her around like a baby. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm so excited about everything that's coming up, and I tried to make good use of my time when I was locked in this house. This closet's not a bad thing to be locked in, but.
Oh. And I mean, obviously you made really good use of your time because you wrote all but one song on your Sitting Pretty on Top of the World album. Not only did you write all but one, but with some amazing co-writers. So just talk about that whole project.
I have been very fortunate to work with some of the best writers in town. I started working with Liz Rose and Hillary Lindsay right when I first moved to town, and Lori McKenna, and I've written with Emily Wise Band. I have a lot of really good friends in town that helped me create this project, that really jumped on board with it and felt as passionately about it as I did, which is always nice in the creative process. When people truly believe in you, you're able to make better music. And I think we were all just in such a state of, in this pandemic, emotions were running wild because there were so many questions, and I stopped for the first time in 10 years, and I think I was able to sit down and think about everything that had happened and really write a summary of it, which is what the album feels like for me. And all of the songwriters that are on this project helped me put my story together, and it was a really healing process for me, and I'm excited for everyone to hear it. I think it's like the next chapter after Road Less Traveled. Road Less Traveled's all about becoming a woman, and it was about, my family and things that I went through to go from a teenager to a young woman. And this album is about being a woman and tells people where I've been and what's been happening.
Yeah, it does a lot. And I think I'm curious, and I want to get to your book in a minute too. I would love to know why you wanted to share this, because you are a celebrity. You didn't need to tell your whole story, but that was really important to you, and I'm dying to know why.
I get asked so many questions about everything that happens to me because I am in the public eye. And there have been a lot of things that happened over the last couple of years that I didn't feel comfortable talking about. I mean, especially when your heart is broken, I was so emotional when people were asking me a million questions that I never answered. And I think that the way that I've always dealt with what I'm going through and the way that I communicate my feelings is through my music. And these songs were the songs about my life, regardless of who the other character is or what actually happened. These songs helped me process it and helped me work through the emotions of going through two really crazy breakups and then trying to date again and figuring out what that looks like and trying to be a woman and dealing with all of these emotions. And I think a lot of my fans have done the same thing. So the reason I wanted to share them, I wrote them for me to process all of the things I went through. And I want to share them because I think there are people out there that have similar situations, and music has a way of bringing us all together and helping us heal. And I think what the world needs most right now is to be brought together and to be healed. So if my album can even be a teeny tiny part of that, it's a win.
And we need to talk about your guest artists on your album, including Trisha Yearwood, which we could be co-president of the Trisha Yearwood fan club. Talk about that, on how you got these amazing artists on this project with you.
John Purdy is on my current single, and he and I are just really, really good friends. So I basically wrote that song and sent it to him and asked him to do it, and he said yes. It was the easiest collaboration of all time. He loved the song and loves me, and we're really close. So literally I sent it in a text message and he said yes. Simple as that. So that's always good when that happens. And the Trisha Yearwood opportunity was a little different. I met Trisha at an award show backstage, and we just hit it off. We were talking about how we both wanted to go get a cheeseburger as fast as we could after that red carpet. And then I went on her cooking show because of that conversation, and we made fast food on her TV show. And then we became friends. Like, she's been a really good mentor and like big sister to me. She actually calls me Junior because she says I'm Trisha Junior. So I could just quit and that would be enough for me. But she ended up, when we were doing the cooking show, she mentioned she would love to collaborate sometime. So about a week later, I picked my phone up and called her and said, hey, remember when you said that you would collaborate with me? I have this song called Getting Good that I think would be just beautiful with you on it. And she loved the song, and she talked with her team, and she did it. And now we're really close. And she actually wrote the foreword for my book that's coming out later. And just to read what she had to say about me I cried like a baby. I just love everything about her. She is wonderful. And it is an honor to, yes, be a part of her life in any capacity.
Okay, so let's talk about your book real quick before I let you go. I read the book already, and it's amazing. And I actually found myself not self-talking in the mirror after I read your book. But what made you decide to write this really personal book on top of everything else you're doing right now?
A big part of my brand and what I've tried to accomplish with my brand is self-empowerment and empowering other people. And for a 26-year-old, I've had a lot of things happen in my life, and I've been really fortunate to have people like around me, friends and family, that have helped me through all of these things, and a therapist and God, my faith, to help me through it. And what I really want to accomplish with my career is to be a light for the world. And I felt like a book would be a really good way to accomplish that. And I try to only do projects that make sense with the music as well, that extend the music. So each chapter is named after a song of mine. Some of them aren't released, and I'm sure my fans are going to come after me for those songs. But I made like my story and the songs that I've released make even more sense. And it's about healing and my personal healing. And I just give little tips along the way for somebody maybe that is in a place of grief or in a place of loss or heartache or in a relationship that's not good for them. And I don't have all the answers, but those are some of the answers that I do have. And I felt the need to share it. And I had some time to write it in this pandemic.
Fair. So if I asked you, last question, if I asked you, Lauren Alaina, how are you now? How are you now?
How am I now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm happy. I'm in a really good place. And I'm not heartbroken anymore, which is a good start.
You love yourself.
I do.
Good. That's a really good lesson. You know I love you. Good to see you.
I love you.
Good to see you. I wish you nothing but the absolute best, Lauren. I hope we get to talk again before your book comes out.
Well, thank you so much. Me too. Good to see you.